This computer. I there's got to be a way to get a new one. I don't know. No. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Colasano, joined as always by my good friend, Mr. Scott Bracey, and Merry Christmas to everyone listening. We appreciate you tuning in. What's going on, dude?
Merry Christmas Eve, as they say.
They do.
On a Tuesday, we are recording. I've seen your face too many times in 5 days, I think, sir.
That's quite the compliment. We're going to get into some college football playoffs. The NFL, you can just sense how the intensity level is increasing. We got our picks, all that stuff. I just wanted to start off with this one idea. There was obviously going into the past weekend, there was a lot of discussion about whether or not James Madison should be in, whether or not Tulane should be in, and both teams proved that they shouldn't, and that we were right. There should be, and it's a terrible way for them to end both of them to end their seasons, because they both had fantastic seasons, and to just get the floor wiped with them is just not okay. Even though James Madison had a backdoor cover, that game was over more or less in the first quarter. And the shame of that is that what we really should be talking about are Miami and Alabama, because those were really the last two teams let in. James Madison and Tulane were in by rule. Like, there's no way around that. They're in by rule. That could be changed, but at least for this year, they had to be in because it was the top 5 top-rated conference champions. So it was a weird year because Duke won the ACC and they weren't rated high enough. But the two teams that were really, talked about and don't belong and should they belong, and Notre Dame and Texas and Vandy, those two came down to Miami and Alabama. And for the first time, two teams went on the road in the playoffs and won games outright, not just covered, but won games outright. And it's kind of a shame to me that that's not really where the focus has been since Saturday. The focus has been more on whether or not James Madison and Tulane belong there, which I don't think anybody disagrees that they don't, and that there should be a different way. But it takes the focus off the fact that Miami went into Texas A&M and in an absolute defensive dogfight wins, and Alabama goes into Oklahoma and showed out. And I think we'll get into those games a little later when we do the review, but it's a shame to me that the focus is on the wrong place. The Tulane JMU thing, that's easily fixed for the future. Teams should be more concerned right now. Indiana should be concerned, and who's
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech should be concerned. Like, you're playing
Georgia.
Good football teams. Yeah, you're playing good football teams. So that's all. I just I hate when I see that the focus is on a college football committee or the playoff committee or whatever, and it really should be on two teams that went on the road that most people, or many people, not most, but many people thought shouldn't even be in the playoffs. They went on the road and won games outright. And I think that also speaks to this year's kind of like parity, I guess you can say. I'm not so sure who the obvious, for the first time in a while, it's not so sure to me. It's not so obvious to me who should be winning or who likely will win the national championship. And I think that's a good thing, because I think both of those teams can win again this coming weekend. So, or I guess it's not this coming weekend. It's next weekend for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So that's all. I would like the focus to be on the teams that won, and not necessarily in the teams that most people agree.
Come on,
Peter. Never happen again.
You know how the media works. It's all negativity.
But we're here to straighten them out.
Friday night last week, Alabama 34, Oklahoma 24. Oklahoma jumps up to 17-0 lead and gets outscored 34-7 after that.
Yeah, 24-0, 24 straight points at one point by Alabama. And it is wild. We talk about it all the time on this show, how in football momentum is a bitch more than any other sport. Like in baseball, you're only as good as your next day's pitcher. So whatever streak you got going on in a good way or a bad way, it really comes down to your next day's pitcher. Batters go through streaks, but still, like, pitching has you can be down by 12 points in basketball and you hit 2 straight threes. Next thing you know, you're two possessions down. Like what just happened? What was once a blowout. It happens all the time in sports, right? A hockey goalie stands on his head and it just is. That's how it's going to go. There's nothing you can do about it. But in football, man, momentum is such a bitch. And the momentum shifted and it just never swung back at all. And it happened. We see this all the time in football. Unlike other sports, we see it all the time. And it played out exactly that way in this game. It's really something to watch. And I'm going to stand by what I had said earlier in the season. I know Ty Simpson didn't finish the season very well, didn't shower himself in glory at the end of the season. But he to me is actually the most polished quarterback. I watch him play, and they don't have the best offensive line. He doesn't get the best protection. But he goes through his progressions. He goes through his reads better than any of the other quarterbacks that I've seen so far this year. A lot of the other quarterbacks just rely on the fact that their wide receivers are better than your defender, and they'll just chuck it up. I've seen Mendoza do that a number of times, although I think he's very good also. Ty Simpson goes through his reads, makes his reads. He does it in a relatively thorough fashion, relatively quickly. And that's the most impressive thing about him. And it can make Alabama very dangerous. Do not sleep on Alabama.
John Mateer, is he coming back to school? What's the story with him? Is he?
I don't know. I don't. Do you mean like coming back to Oklahoma or going to the NFL?
Yeah,
that's your question. Both.
Yeah,
I think he'd be foolish to leave. He's not ready for the NFL yet. He's not ready for the NFL. There's a lot I like about him. There's a lot I like.
Week 5, he wins the Heisman Trophy. That's so funny.
So much has changed from the beginning of the season to the middle of the season to the end of the season. So much has changed. So much has changed. Most people didn't even know Fernando Mendoza's name when the season started.
I know.
Didn't even know who he was.
A lot of high wins in College Station. This game was goofy
that
for
was
a long
something.
time. Nobody wanted to win this game. Miami 10, A&M 3. Yes, that was the final score. In a regular season game, this game blows. In a playoff game, it was fantastic.
I agree. You're 100% dead on balls accurate with that because it was low scoring, but it wasn't low scoring because the offenses are not capable. Both teams have very capable offenses. Actually, if you look throughout the season, they score a lot of points.
Yeah.
And you got some really exceptional wide receivers and some pretty good quarterbacks. No, this was about fantastic defense, especially by Miami. Both teams moved the ball a little bit. They just when I would say this properly, when defenses needed to buckle down, they buckled down.
Yeah.
Like it's just how it was. And it created a lot of tension because you're right, because it was a playoff game. And I will say the same thing here. If you think this is like new for Miami, then you haven't been really paying attention because they're a good defensive team. There's a lot of speed.
Good front seven, man. Oof.
Excellent up front. They get after the quarterback. What do we always talk about? Very, very dangerous team, man. I'm just telling you, because Texas A&M at home, they could score. That team can score. And the fact that they didn't, bro, it's really, really impressive job by Miami. Do not sleep. Do not sleep on either. That's why I started the opener with that. Like, don't sleep on either of these two teams. These are two talented teams, very talented teams. Maybe Miami more so than even Alabama, to be honest.
Do we stop hating on Cristobal or not yet?
Well, I'll let you know.
Exactly.
Because he still has potential to do something stupid. He
had no options to do something stupid the other day.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel like there was something in this game that I was like, what the hell? But no, they won the game. I don't love him. I just don't love him.
Yeah.
But not yet. Yeah, just give him. He gets some credit, dude. I don't care. You win a playoff game on the road in college football. That I don't care who's against. That's impressive, especially when a lot of people were bitching. You don't hear the Notre Dame fans as much now, do you? You lost. Didn't they lose to Texas A&M at home?
Yes.
Yeah, Miami, who beat you, went into A&M and beat them. So Notre Dame just doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to Miami. And now you don't have a leg to stay. This is why they're very quiet now. Nobody's talking about Notre Dame because both Oklahoma both Alabama and both Notre Dame and Miami, who people, Notre Dame fans especially, thought they should replace, both won on the road, and that's impressive. So very quiet. And now I hope you see USC backing out. I just saw something today that a lot of teams are saying, screw you to Notre Dame. We don't want to play you for multiple reasons. Number one, why the hell do you get favor just because you end up in the top 12? Nobody else has that rule. That makes no sense. And number two, why would I play you and cost myself a potential loss? So now they drop USC and pick up BYU.
Yeah.
That ought to look good on your resume. That'll look good on your resume. Good luck with that. And you deserve it. I'm just going to say it. And I like Notre Dame. I like Marcus Freeman. I think Notre Dame is good for college football. Notre Dame being good is good for college football. But I don't understand. There's no justifiable reason for them to have exemptions when no other team has them. They should be in a conference, or else if you're not going to be in a conference, you deal with the consequences of that. That's all. I want Notre Dame good. I want them doing well. I want them in the playoffs. I want them earning it the right way, not you get some kind of carve out that nobody else gets. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Agreed. The first game of the Snooze Fest, Ole Miss 41, Tulane 10.
Yeah, you could tell, we were a little, wondering how would Ole Miss come out? Would they come out flat because they were pissed off about Lane Kiffin leaving, or would they come out motivated because they were pissed off about Lane Kiffin leaving? And it certainly looked like, dude, they had 21 points in what seemed like 5 minutes.
Holy shit.
There was clearly a sign being sent, a message being sent that we don't need you. We'll see about that. We'll see about that in the future. I have questions about their head coach, even some of the things he said after the game. It's like, be careful, dude. You haven't had a recruiting class. You haven't pulled any players from the portal. Nobody even knows who you are, and you want to talk shit. Enjoy it this year, but I don't know how long. What's his name?
Pete Golding.
Yeah, I don't know how. Enjoy it now, Pete, because I don't know how long you're going to be there. Let's be honest. Look who you're up against.
And they lost on back-to-back plays. I think they lost their tailback and their quarterback, but they came back in. But they looked a little shaky on that. But,
yeah.
Good luck at Georgia, or versus Georgia, I should say.
Look, they're a good team. I told you they're a good team. They play good defense. This is the best defense that Ole Miss has had, maybe ever, but certainly in the Lane Kiffin era. I don't know, man. You give them 12, 13 days off, I guess they're getting almost 2 weeks. Maybe they can go in, and it's a neutral site. I don't know. I think Ole Miss is a very good team, actually. So I wouldn't knock my socks off if they beat Georgia. I'm not predicting it. I'm saying just they're a good team. I would like them more if Kiffin was still there. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. I would like them more. But they do have a little chip on their shoulder. I will say that. They definitely have a little chip on their shoulder, which is a good thing.
We got screwed in this game on a cover. Fucking 99 yards at the end of the game. You got to be kidding me.
You know what's so funny? As I heard my own quote in my head, I said, Oregon's going to score 50-something. You can totally see him scoring 50-something, which means, and I remember which means James Madison would have to score 30, and I don't see that happening. Well, we got the first part right and not the second part.
51-34 on a 100-yard drive with basically, and then a 4th and goal touchdown to stick it in our ass. But
crazy, right?
Oregon, pretty much cruise control, but Dan Lanning
got pissed off.
Putting some starters back in, taking them out, putting them in. Weird game, just because it's this team, they shouldn't be in the fucking games.
No, and you know what's so sad about it? If you watch the games, I don't know if the people listening actually watch the games. I don't even know if you watched those two games. I watched them both.
Yeah, I did.
The funny thing is, they're both actually pretty good football teams. I think both of them could actually compete against middling Power 5 teams. Yeah. Could they compete? Could Tulane and James Madison compete against this year, maybe against Syracuse? Yeah. Against Rutgers? Yeah. Against Purdue, Minnesota, against Kentucky? Yeah. But in the playoffs, the best 10 other teams in the country? Come on, man. And I just go back to what I said. It's kind of sad that both of those teams don't have a chance to win their own championship, their own level championship of Power 5. And now what's great, I will say this, and sports media can be influential. I heard it a lot this week so far. Sunday on ESPN, and then yesterday and today on other outlets, talking about a secondary, a championship for group of 5 or group of 6. I don't even know how many groups there are now, whatever that is, the non-Power 4 conference teams. And I think that'd be fantastic. And I think they'd be all for it. They would make more money as a whole. Each team would be happy because they'd have a chance. And it's also a chance to just justify the season that you had. Because now it's like,
yeah,
both of them end on a freaking basically a blowout. And that's
coaches are gone. Like, see
it
ya.
shouldn't be like that. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
Next week we will talk about our preview, because we have another week there. So, NFL Week 16, last Thursday night. What a game! You missed probably 3/4 of it. Seattle 38, Rams 37 on a couple controversial plays here. The 2-point conversion that was on a commercial break, on a kickoff that they gave him the backward pass recovering the end zone. Holy shit. Stafford fantastic again. Wasn't his fault. Darnold, I tell you, he looked awful in the first half, but second half overtime, fantastic. Really good. Really, really good.
This is the difference between the current Sam Darnold and the one even from last year or previous. Is in previous years, when he has a bad game, he kind of ends bad. If you even think back to that last Rams game, he had a bad game, 4 interceptions, but people forget that he took them down the field with very little time left to even get a chance at the field goal, which that wouldn't have been Sam Darnold just a couple of years ago, even last year.
Right.
And again, with this particular game, he was not having a great game, but yet he stepped up big time late in the game and has a lot to do with it. Now, with that particular play, I was thinking about this like the next 2 days when everyone was talking about it, and it is crazy and it is unique, but just because it's crazy and unique doesn't mean it's the wrong call. And it actually is the right call. And even though Sean McVay said, I've never seen anything like that in the entirety of my career, it still doesn't make it the wrong call just because you've never seen it before. I don't think anybody's ever seen it before, but that doesn't make it the wrong call. It really
I think just how it happened, I think it was weird. Like,
it's bizarre. Especially it wasn't even like what we would call a typical fumble recovery. Like he just kind of walked over and picked it up because everybody had given up.
Hey, look, I got a ball.
Yeah, like cleaning up his mess, actually. It was more like, clean up in aisle 6 than it was fumble recovery. But that's all. These are the 2 best teams in the NFC. Maybe they're the 2 best teams in the NFL. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw them both again in an NFC championship game, if the schedule works out that way. I don't know if it would. But we shall see. But they're the best 2 teams in the NFC right now.
Saturday night, another weird game. Chicago Bears 22, Green Bay Packers 16. Jordan Love leaves this game with a concussion. Josh Jacobs.
Malik Willis played well, though.
He's a good backup, man. He's all right. Yeah, he's all right.
You know what's so funny? He looks like Jordan Love now, the way he holds the ball, the way he drops back.
Yeah.
Similar coaching, obviously, but yeah.
Bears without 2 of their wide receivers, pretty much showed in the first half. Cold as shit. Yeah. I'd say Chicago at night, man. That is somewhere you do not want to be in a fucking football stadium.
You know what? It's so funny. I think about when I see those games because I remembering, it's a long time ago, but remembering back to like really, sub 20-degree football games. You know what the worst part is? The ground.
Yes.
Like landing on the ground, your skin on the ground. The ground it's like freaking cement.
Oh.
Like going down to the ground is the worst part, man. I don't care what anybody says. I'd rather take a goddamn concussion than like land on my elbow or a knee on rock solid.
or your fucking coccyx bone, the tailbone. That's the worst.
Dude, it's the worst. Yeah.
Don't tell me that ass pad works. That fucking thing, dude. That. Oh my god.
These guys barely have pads on their lower bodies anymore, man, which blows my mind. That's a story for another day. Caleb Williams on the positive side, dude. The guy just has a knack.
What a throw to win it. What a fucking time.
But even before that, he just has a knack for fourth quarter play.
Yeah.
Like he just steps up. This was one of the things, when we were talking about him coming out in a draft and some of the problems I had, this was one of the things that I always did like is that at the end of games when it's on the line, the complaints about him not playing well from the pocket or not playing on time, it doesn't matter anymore if you're making plays at the end of the game. It's all forgivable if you're making comebacks. And once again, he had not a bad 3 quarters, but not a good 3 quarters either. I mean, would they have 3 points, 6 points going into the fourth quarter again?
Yep.
So there's issues there. There's still issues there. And I look and I say, how long can you keep that up? I look and I say, the Washington Commanders. Like, oh, Jaden Daniels, brought them back all those games. And then this year you just can't do it. Like, you can't do that forever. You can't constantly fall behind good teams, bad teams, everything in the middle, and expect that you're always going to make those comebacks. That shit catches back up with you eventually. And, we'll see this week going up against, the Niners we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's just really impressive. Really impressive. He makes some throws that are just holy shit, like on the money. You talk about a touchdown pass that was put in the only spot that it could be placed and still be caught, and then a great catch on top of that. Like, really, really impressive stuff late in the game.
Carolina
just has like a never say die mentality. Like, it just and then it's a never say die mentality, and then go and actually make plays, like a lot of plays. It's something else, man. It really is impressive.
Carolina 23, Tampa Bay 20. Tampa's a mess.
They're hurting, and Carolina really. It's been would you agree? I don't know if you'd agree with this, but it's been a really successful season.
Oh yeah,
I would think
definitely.
This has been really. There's a bunch of games that you could point to with Carolina and say, like, oh man, that's well, this is a team that won like 3-4 games last year. So I don't know what you expected them to win 12. I've been very impressed. Like, think of some of the games that they've won this year. To go into Green Bay, to go into LA, or to beat LA, wherever that game. And this game, like, this was an important game. This wasn't just, hey, can we beat Tampa? Like, this was for first place in their division. And Bryce Young, at times, he still looks very small to me, and I don't like that. But man, at times he just looks little. He just looks little out there.
I know.
And it bothers me in the long run. But, man, at times he looks really good. And he's another one. Throws a really nice ball. He can be very accurate if you give him a little bit of time. Definitely improved this year. Pittsburgh. I don't know that they're going to make any noise in the playoffs. And I wonder, even if they
neither one's not going to make any noise.
No. If they win the division, who will they end up playing? The only thing you could say on the bright side with that is it'll be a home game. If they win their division, it'll be a home game, which that's nice and good for the fans of Carolina. I don't know who would end up. Maybe the Eagles end up going in there, or Packers, or I don't know, maybe the Rams. Good luck with that one, even though you beat them recently. So
yeah, that one.
Playoff Rams, I think will look a little different.
Agreed. Steelers 29, Lions 24, a bizarre finish.
Again.
And the umpire, and the referee fucks with the fans of Detroit.
Oh my God.
It is a touchdown.
But
however, offensive pass interference, game over. Which I think was a bizarre way of putting that, to be honest with you. But Pittsburgh's run game, holy smokes, welcome to the party.
Says a lot about Detroit's run defense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this was a pretty impressive win for the Steelers. I think both of us figured that Detroit would come out, score a ton of points, be uber aggressive on the offensive side of the ball. They brought pressure. They played really good on the back end defensively. Like it or not, you got to give Mike Tomlin some credit here. About 2-3 weeks ago, everybody was ready to have his head. Ben Roethlisberger and some of those guys were ready to send him out to pasture. Just finds a way to do it again, man. And then, after the game, Aaron Rodgers being interviewed was like, yep, we're going to go home, enjoy this one, and root for New England. And that ended up working out pretty well, too. So, really impressive win. This was, I don't know, this was potentially, I'd have to look at the whole schedule, but this was one of the more impressive wins for them because they did it on the road against a team that was hurting, really needed to win. And they played very good defensively. I thought they'd score some points. I mean, Detroit's not a very good defensive team, but the way the defensive effort that the Steelers put in this game was really, really impressive to me.
Oh, yeah. Jacksonville 34, Broncos 20. Worst game the Broncos have played all year. They were due for one of these probably. Jacksonville's better than I thought, although we were terrible fucking tackling. Ball wasn't good. As good as Ball was the week before, it was not as good today or that day. I don't know. Jacksonville's defense and Campanelli did a great job. They forced a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, but they get after the quarterback too.
They do. I think it's one of those where, like, Trevor Lawrence has won a playoff game. I keep forgetting that sometimes, but I'm curious to see what this team does with Liam Cohen when they get in.
Yeah, first time head coach, and while he has won a playoff game, Trevor Lawrence has not, been awesome in the playoffs. I think two things can be true at the same time. I think Denver definitely played their worst game in a while, and Jacksonville's better than most people thought. You have to give them credit now to go on the road to Denver. I don't think Denver was sleeping on this team. So two things could be true at the same time. But yeah, I mean, that's true. Because history, makes you think a certain way. You've seen things happen, so you're like, it's going to happen again, right? Denver started making their comeback. They were down, 17? They kicked the field goal. They get the ball back. They're driving again. You're thinking, here we go.
Here we go. Yep.
And they move down the field, and then they turn the ball over. He throws Nix throws the interception, and you're like, oh, not this time. Okay. And that's kind of what, I'm saying with some of these younger guys, whether it's Drake May, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. Let's all remember these guys are, whether Jaden Daniels, who's out now, these guys are all second-year quarterbacks, man. Some of them are on a couple of them are on first year with their certain coordinators. This stuff is really hard. Like I'm hard on Caleb Williams, and it's more because everybody elevates him without the accomplishments being there. I just want to see people do it first. But man, this stuff is really hard. And then when you throw in the playoffs on top of it coming, the playoffs to me have already kind of started. Like there's a second level of intensity at the end of the regular season, and then there's a third level of intensity in the playoffs, and then there's a Super Bowl intensity, and they're all a little different. And it's just it's hard to know what's coming until you've experienced it. Very rarely do we see like what Jaden Daniels did last year with Washington, where you just come in and you elevate along with that. Usually it comes in stages. We've seen that with Josh Allen, make the playoffs and get beat, make the playoffs and win a game and get beat, make the playoffs and go to the AFC Championship and get beat. Like it usually comes gradually, not all at once. So, it's to be expected with younger quarterbacks, man. They're still learning just their own offense. Never mind what the other team is throwing at them. Never mind the fact that Jacksonville is a pretty damn good defensive team. So, and the other side of it is Trevor Lawrence is in his 5th or 6th year in the league, and he's finally starting to look good. We forget. I was thinking about this earlier today too, dude. We've talked about this before, but we've just run out of patience when it comes, especially to quarterbacks.
Yeah.
When you think of guys like Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, maybe they just needed more time. Everybody's ready to give up. I know JJ McCarthy injury again, getting injured all the fucking time, and I get that. But man, could we be a little bit more patient? And I know with the 5-year contract, and then you got to decide, with Jordan Love, you're paying a guy $50 million a year based off of 8 games or something like that. It's hard. I get that. But man, like Trevor Lawrence this is the best he's looked. This is the most confident he's looked. He's decisive. Sometimes these things just take some time. Sometimes it just takes some time, and I just would like to see more patience.
You said it before, the Steelers rooting for the Ravens to lose, and they did. The Patriots 28, Ravens 24. Dude.
Wasn't easy.
Well, dude, they're up. The Ravens are up 24-13. Like
with Snoop Hundley?
Yeah, Snoop Hundley with 12 minutes to go, and they fucking just shit their pants. Derrick Henry doesn't get a touch at the end of the game. Like, what are we doing, dude?
That's bizarre to me, and I haven't really heard any kind of answer. 12 minutes left and he never touches the ball again. That's just weird, especially when you got the lead.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Was he in the game?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like a fireable offense. If it wasn't John Harbaugh, I think it would be. The other side of it is Drake
Lamar hurt again.
It's been a bad year. And I just wonder if all the years of all the running and the physicality is catching up to him. He's not the thickest guy in the world. He's are the beatings starting to catch up, or is it's just been that kind of year? They actually put on the screen last night, or the other, was it last night? Yeah, last night. All the injuries he's had this year. And it's like, holy shit, he's had like 5 different injuries, 4 of them with below the weight.
Illnesses too, like he's been sick.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. So, Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if now you just don't see him the rest of the season and they just say, let's just go into the offseason and try to get healthy for next year. It would be wise. But, I'm talking about young quarterbacks, and we'll see them stumble here, even though they're playing well. But Drake May just plays different. Like, he pushes the ball downfield. I saw a stat yesterday that he has the second – what was the stat called? Like, average yards per completion, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And he's second in the league, 7.9 yards per completion.
Who's first? Stafford?
They didn't say. It wouldn't shock me if it was Stafford because he pushes the ball downfield big time.
Puka's always Devontae. Yeah.
And whether it's second, third, fifth, 10th, just the idea, what that means is that he's not playing dink and dunk. They're not just throwing screens. They're not just, throwing hitch routes and hoping that your guy takes off. They're pushing the ball down the field, and you can see it. And he's feathering the ball into some really tight spaces sometimes, and other times he throws a freaking rifle rocket. And
he's good.
I'm really impressed. And I go back to last year because I was listening to Colin Cowherd today, heap praise on Drake May and how great he is. And I'm thinking, you're the same son of a bitch who last year in the first couple weeks of the season was telling us that Joe Milton was about to pass him on the depth chart. That you were just like, Coward was literally saying, I just don't see it. He's just raw. He just doesn't have it. And I never was a fan. And now he's like, oh, this kid is great. I've been saying this. You've been saying nothing of the sort, dude.
It's terrible.
Oh my God.
Last one for me, dude. Last night, Niners 48, Colts 27. And I wrote this down just because I want to see. I like seeing Phillip Rivers cry on the sideline. What a fucking douchebag.
Was he crying?
He was complaining, and they do a pick to seal it. Like, it was as a dude, if you were playing a drinking game last night with how many times they showed Phillip Rivers, it was worse than like Taylor Swift last year. You're fucking wasted, dude.
Well, the difference is he's actually a football player on the field, so it makes a little more sense.
Yeah, but on 2nd and 7 for the Niners, I got to look at Phil Rivers on the sideline. What the fuck are you talking
about? Very odd. I will just say this, though, dude. Guy put on a fucking show last night. Like, he put on a show last night.
For a while.
2 touchdowns, 280 yards. Like, come on. He's 40. That's 100 years old. He's almost my age, for Christ's sake. It's impressive. With that said, dude, San Fran can light it up, bro.
Oh, my God, dude. With ease up and down the field, dude.
Let's not forget, this was the Colts at home, and this is a Colts team that didn't give up a touchdown to Seattle last week. Like, this is a good defense. This is not some, chump change defense here. This is a pretty good defense at home, and your quarterback is going blow for blow with the Niners early on. Like, it was tight. It was 14-14 at one point, and they just couldn't be stopped. Brock Purdy looks fantastic.
Yeah, he looks
I'll
really
tell
good.
you what, man, they give him time, and he will pick you apart. He does not have a cannon, but he always throws to the right guy. This is and Robert Saleh is doing an amazing job with a low average skill-wise defense. If they can even just play average defense, they're a very dangerous team going into the playoffs. Very dangerous. And here's why, maybe more than anything. We talk about look at how many young, inexperienced quarterbacks are going into the playoffs. And here come the San Francisco 49ers, all grizzled. Brock Purdy has been to a Super Bowl, had one, almost won. Like, this is not new for him, folks. This is not new for that offensive line. This is not new for Shanahan. This is not new for Robert Saleh. Like, be very careful of this team because they've been there before and they know how to turn it on. Again, you know what I like to say, not a prediction. I'm just saying, make yourself aware of this. Got a lot of young guys, and it's fun. It's so fun to me that there's so many young guys that are going to be in the playoffs this year. Like, it's almost like a turning over to a new generation. Be very, very careful of the 49ers, man. They know how to play football.
If Purdy gets protected, the that ball's out. That back leg boom, ball's gone.
Always on time. Always. This is what we talk about the opposite with Caleb Williams, but he's so physically talented that he makes up for it in other ways. Where Brock Purdy is not even in the ballpark,
right? Physically,
athletically, as Caleb Williams, but from the neck up, that's where he thrives. And man, they just lately. They just score a lot of points, man. They score a lot of points. They look really good on offense. And they're relatively healthy on offense.
Yeah. Well, Kittle was living around last night at the end of the game, but
we'll see what happens there. Yeah, that could be problematic because he does rely on him a lot.
Anybody anything else, brother?
Nope.
Top 5. We're winding down, bro. At 5, I have the Denver Broncos. I think 12-3, 10 straight wins can't get ignored. I know they didn't look good the other day, but I think overall, good defense is still there. Everyone has a stinker. Rams have 4 losses. Patriots have 4. Everyone has losses, so that happens. In front of them, I have the team that just beat them, the Jaguars. I think it's time to give them some love. Going into Denver, which is a tough place to play. Air, defense, good team, everything else, man. 34 points, win by 2 touchdowns. Great job. 3, I got the Patriots. Go into Baltimore. I don't care who's playing quarterback. It's just kind of a weird place to play. Eerie place. Ravens have like that dark purple and black at night. Down, not out. They come back 14 points, 15 points, whatever it was. Great job there. And then 2-1, I have the NFC West, as you said before. Obviously, giving the Seahawks the nod because they got the 1-point win, and I got the Rams at number 2.
Interesting. No Niners in there, huh?
Niners, Texans, Eagles, Bears, honorable mention.
I have the Jags at 5, and I took the Broncos out. They're not honorable mentions for sure. I just think you go into Denver. I don't care who you are. Like, I don't care what team goes into Denver and wins pretty impressively. You just solidified yourself as one of the better teams in the league to me. At number 4, I have the Bears. How do you not? They continue to find ways to win. I love Ben Johnson as a coach. I love Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter. I think the first 3 quarters is going to catch up to him eventually. I just don't know if it's going to be this year or if it is this year, when that'll be. But we shall see. At number 3, I got the Bills. It's just Josh Allen is so damn good, and Cook is cooking, no pun intended, or I guess pun intended. God, they can run the ball. He's the leading rusher in the NFL right now. So when you pair the leading rusher in the NFL with the most unstoppable quarterback in the NFL, without any wide receivers, they benched 2 wide receivers in this game, coach's decision, and they're like, we don't even need them. We got 3 effective tight ends and Cook out of the backfield. It's like, and Josh Allen, they don't even need him. It's crazy. And then me too, I also have a Seahawks at 1, Rams at 2. I had the Pats as an honorable mention. In the last 2 weeks, losing to the Bills after being up and then sneaking one out against a not very good and Lamar Jackson-less Ravens team, I feel like we're seeing, young quarterback, young team, not fully there for this elevated play late in the season. I do have the Broncos right there also. I agree with you. Like, it doesn't take away from them to me, like how good they are and what I think they're capable of in the playoffs. But as far as power rankings, I got to knock them down a notch. And I do have the 49ers in there as honorable mentions as well. They just look, outside of maybe the Rams, they look like the most explosive team in the NFL right now, as of right now.
NFL Week 17 starts on Christmas night. For those of you wondering, that's 2 nights from today. And I'm going to start with the middle game of the Christmas slate, the Lions at the Vikings. And I write that down because the Lions are fighting for their life. They're on life support. The Vikings, sure. JJ out again with a fucking 3rd injury this year. As soon as he gets going, man, 3 wins in a row. The offense starts moving around. I just feel bad for the kid at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know even what line the Lions need. I think they need like half the fucking league to lose and then to win out to get in. But this Lions team, man, I know we love our Dan Campbell, but this year has been widely disappointing.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I think losing both coordinators has definitely left a mark. Dan Campbell taking over the play calling helped for 1 week, but not much after that. It's hard to bottle that kind of magic that Ben Johnson brings.
And the defensive injuries again, doing the secondary of the line. Oh, my God.
So even though they should win this game, their defense is so bad. Will Minnesota be able to run the ball? Will Minnesota be able to slow down their offense? You would think Detroit is the play here with no quarterback in sight.
Yeah, Brosmer's and oof.
No, yeah, but we'll see.
Yep. Saturday.
I want to say
Afternoon?
one more. Let me just say one more thing about that.
Sure.
The luster has worn off with Detroit a little bit now.
I know.
You know,
You're right. Yep.
The
Yep.
story,
You
the
don't want the same old Lions, but it's going.
Yeah. The feel-good story is kind of gone, and now it's like, what are you going to do now? You can't just rest with Dan Campbell. You can't just rest on, well, we brought them to the playoffs. Yeah, now what?
You can't be biting no kneecaps at fucking 8-7, bro.
Very disappointing. I'm with you.
Saturday afternoon, Houston at LA Chargers. This is a game for the AFC. Texans got to keep going with the Jaguars here. And the Chargers can catch the Broncos because they play them the week after.
I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't know how the Chargers do it. You're missing two starting offensive tackles. Then I think they lost another one during the game. Herbert's
hitting the ball off backwards. Like, what the fuck?
He just is taking a beating. And he is the poster child of why it is still important to have a relatively big dude back there, because if that was Kyler Murray or Bryce Young, Russell Wilson, like some of these younger guys, some smaller guys, they wouldn't be lasting, because he is taking a pummeling and still playing at a high level, dude. He just, I know you've talked about many times the results in the playoffs, got to show the wins. I don't need all that to know what my eyes are telling me. Like, there's very few guys in the NFL currently that I would take over him. And I mean, very few. And the list might be two. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you have Justin Herbert, there's, maybe I take Mahomes and maybe I take Josh Allen, but there's nobody else.
You don't think Burrow?
No. Guy can't even complete a season. Could you imagine Joe Burrow on the Chargers?
Herbert's got a lot of trouble fucking playing like too.
I know, but he's toughing it out. He's out there. He's out there playing. How many wins they got right now? 10 or 11?
11, I think, yeah.
11 wins. Like, they're winning games with not a lot. Like, I don't even know if Keenan Allen played this past week. They're just tough. He's just tough. Harbaugh's just a good coach. Who are they playing? You said Houston?
Yes, sir.
I mean, they're just playing really, really good football right now. CJ Stroud looks significantly better than he did before the injury. I don't know, maybe him sitting on a sideline for a couple games watching Davis Mills, maybe that helped.
It certainly definitely didn't hurt, I'll tell you that.
I don't know if it lit a fire under his ass, seeing a guy go out there that people don't think is as good as CJ and he's completing passes and winning games, or if he actually saw Davis Mills doing certain things and said, okay, that's where we want to take this. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but he's been a different player from before he was injured.
Baltimore goes to Lambeau Field, sir.
Yeah, you can see that the Packers are also a different team without, like, they were unable to close out that game. What was the one thing we really talked about missing Micah Parsons is you don't have your closer to put the pressure, and that's what happened. Although I blame the Packers a little bit for that. Anyway, they're a little bit different team. I don't know. Is Lamar Jackson playing? I don't know. We're doing this on a Tuesday this week because of the holiday, so I don't know if he's playing. And even if he does, I don't know if I even care. Jordan Love is really problematic if he's not playing. I mean, he didn't look doofed up. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I don't know
that it was going on until they saw him walking off. So I suspect Jordan Love is going to play. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar doesn't, just because it doesn't matter anymore. I don't think. I don't know. Does it still matter for them?
They got a shot. They got to win out. Pittsburgh has to lose out, and they play Pittsburgh next week. So
maybe. I think I like the Packers at home in this one.
Jacksonville goes to Indy, and Indy also on life support, and I think you can almost consider them dead.
Yeah, I think they're dead, regardless of what the situation is.
Yeah,
I will say this. This is a classic trap spot.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm not saying Indianapolis is going to win this game, but I will say this. If you can tell me that Phillip Rivers is going to put up the same numbers against Jacksonville that he just put up against the Niners, oh boy, I'm telling you, what did you say? You don't trust Jacksonville. I don't trust the Jags. I don't trust them either. They've been playing so well last few weeks, man. Last month.
Division games too are weird, dude.
This is such a classic spot to shit the bed and
laying a touchdown on the road.
Here's what I will say. Jacksonville, forget the spread. Jacksonville, you go in there, you win this game, you get the hell out of there with a W, and you're really impressing me. And I look and I say, Liam Cohen's a good coach and Trevor Lawrence a good quarterback. Like, just find a fucking way to win this game. Forget the spread. Just go win this game. Because I
lot of travel too, Pete.
I smell shitting the bed here. Oh. All over the place, man. Getting those miles.
Seattle back east. It feels like for the 15th fucking time this year at Carolina.
Seattle doesn't lose on the road, and I suspect they won't lose this one either because their defense is going to just, I think, cause a lot of problems for Carolina. It's a classic, like, you know, if they can get pressure on Bryce Young, that's one thing he doesn't deal with well. I could see a couple turnovers, couple interceptions, and I could see them winning this game something like 20-13, 17-13. Maybe Seattle doesn't put a lot of points on the board, but I'd be shocked if they lost this game. Shocked. Plus, this game really matters to them because they want to maintain that number one overall spot.
It matters to Carolina, too.
It absolutely does. But I'm just saying you're not going to get a Seattle team that's going east that's going to lay an egg because the game, looking forward to the next week or something. They need this game. This is a game you really need to win.
Excuse me. A game that I circled about 4 months ago, we did our preview.
Oh.
Really hits home to roost now, bro. Philly at Buffalo. These two teams are like almost identical to me.
Very similar.
Because one week they're like, oh man, they're back. And then the next week you're like, did they almost lose to the, enter team here kind of thing?
Yeah.
Fucking Philly. I'm watching that. I'm watching that game. I'm watching that game Saturday again at Washington, and it's like going through the motions. Yeah. Then they knock out Mariota, and boom, 21 points. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then Buffalo, you called it again. Cleveland at home. Allen limping around. Buffalo's got a chance to take the lead. Cleveland's got a chance to take the lead. Like, oh my God. It's just, and now they're playing against each other. What are we going to get in this game, dude? Like,
well, the funny thing is, that's why you stay away from this game when it comes to betting, because I don't know. Buffalo can't stop the run, and Philly kind of wants to run it, but they haven't been able to run it, but Buffalo can't stop it. I don't know. Josh Allen, one of the scariest things is that he hurt his foot, and if he can't be as effective on the run or even just in the pocket moving around, that could be problematic. Dude, I certainly didn't pick this game. It wouldn't shock me if it went from anywhere between Philly winning by 10 to Buffalo winning by 10. That is quite a wide gap. So I don't know what to expect. If the Philly team shows up that kind of played the second half of that game last week, they could beat Buffalo. There's no doubt about it. Buffalo stinks on defense. They've shown a little bit better, shown some signs of improving defensively. They're not that good. They're not that good defensively. They're just not.
Once the playoffs start, there's so much pressure on Josh Allen. So much.
I mean, probably more on him than anybody else right now, right? Because Lamar is going to be out, and
Stafford already won a Super Bowl. Like
already won it.
Not in the playoffs. Like,
you got a bunch of young guys, so there's not. There's pressure on everybody in the playoffs, but I mean, like, who has the most? You hear people saying
Herbert has some.
He's got some, but not as much as Josh. You hear people saying, like, there's no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. This is the year you got to do it. And it's like, Josh Allen's not the only guy on the field, folks. There's 53 guys on the roster. There's a whole side of the football that he has nothing to do with.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask. There's some good teams out there. Denver's good. Jacksonville's good.
2/3 of the fucking team he has nothing to do with, to be honest with you.
Nothing to do with it, yeah.
Last one for me,
and
bro.
Let's be honest. The reason they've lost in the past in the playoffs has had nothing to do with Josh Allen. He puts up monster numbers. In fact, his numbers on average are better in the playoffs. Completion percentage, yards per game, rushing yards per game, total completions, total yards passed. He's better in the playoffs than and he's like the only player that plays better in the playoffs than he does in the regular season. Everybody else has it down. Their stats tick down a little. Why? Because you're playing good teams. He's the only guy whose stats actually get better. So it's not been because of him. And if they lose this year, I suspect it won't be because of him either.
Bears at Niners, Sunday Night Football.
You know, a few weeks ago, I was like, this will be a perfect example of why the Bears are not as good as everybody thinks. And I can't say that anymore. I will only say this. The Bears are notoriously slow starters. Notoriously slow snort. Hello.
Snot
slow
snorters? What?
starters. No, notoriously slow starters. If they do that in this game, they're gonna get shit on. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah,
If they're scoring 6 points by middle of the third quarter, there's no comeback to be made in this one because their defense is okay. It's just not very good. Yes, they get turnovers, but if they don't get the best pass rush in the world, if you're not getting a birdie and he's throwing the ball on time, it's going to be over early. So they need to go toe to toe earlier. Ben Johnson needs to get them off to a little bit better start than they've been getting off to. I don't see it happening because it hasn't happened yet. The only thing I can say is that San Fran's defense is just They're more opportunistic than they are good. They're a little more bend but don't break because they just don't have the personnel right now. So the Bears have an opportunity to get out to a better start. They better do it, or else I don't see that there's comeback city in this game.
Peter, you want to gamble?
There is nothing I would like more than that.
Both of us 2-2 last week.
We're just treading water lately. Just treading water.
32, 22, and 2 for me.
We got totally screwed in that Oregon game.
So fucking screwed.
I mean, they were trashing them.
I flipped over. I'm like, this game's over. I went to the Bears, Packers, and I'm like, I went back to, I'm like, 34, 51. Motherfucker. I'm like, we didn't cover that game. And I'm like, and I saw how they scored in the cover. I'm like, oh, that's
son of a bitch.
That's ridiculous. All right, bro. I'm going to start in the sunny state of Florida. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to Miami. I don't like anything really that I've seen from Tampa over like the last 5 weeks. They don't put anybody away when they get a lead. They blow it. They've blown a couple in a row now. Miami's fighting for McDaniels. They're fighting for McDaniel, whatever his name is. They're fighting for some pride. Quinn Ewers looked okay in some spots, but their defense just got run all over in that game.
Yeah.
They could run the football, and we know that the Buccaneers can't stop the ball.
Not lately.
I will take the 5.5 with the Dolphins hosting the Buccaneers.
I think it's the right move for Miami to have pulled to it and see what you have in Quinn Ewers. There have always been, let's remember, this guy was a Ohio State recruit. He was a number 1 overall quarterback coming out of high school. He's got a big arm. He's a big kid with a big arm. Like, these are raw things that you get to point to, you get to look at. It'd be nice to get a look over the last few weeks. I think that was smart because you're right. There were some things he did the other day that I was like, okay. And then there were some really like boneheaded, typical rookie, don't know what the hell you're doing kind of mistakes for sure. So the one thing I remember from him from college that he was usually pretty good with protecting the football. He didn't make like bad decisions, bad interceptions. In fact, that some of the complaints we had were that he held the ball too long sometimes because he didn't want to turn the ball over. So could be interesting. Yeah, it could be interesting. My first pick, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I'm going to take the Lions -6 at the Vikings. I just, with the quarterback situation there in Minnesota, what's the kid's name?
Max Brosmer?
Is whatever. Yeah.
I don't even know if that's right.
Yeah, you're in the ballpark. You're closer than I would have been. Charles Bronson was where I was going, and I'm pretty sure that's not correct.
You might have a better chance. I don't know.
Charles Bronson's son, maybe. I just don't see them scoring many points. I have to believe that Detroit is going to score 20 or more. Not going to score less than 20, right? So if they score 20 or more, I think they cover the 6.
I'm going to Lambeau Field, bro. Green Bay Packers -2.5. So basically, you got to win by a field goal here. I don't know what's going on at quarterback for either team here. It's Tuesday afternoon. But I like Malik Willis more than I like Snoop Huntley, if that's the case. And I like the Packers defense and home field more than I like whatever Baltimore's been doing the last basically 3 months. So you give me Green Bay -2.5. I will take it against the Ravens.
Dude, that's my second pick as well. And for every reason you just said, including the fact that I just like Malik Willis more than Snoop Huntley, although Snoop Huntley, once upon a time when there were a lot of injuries and nobody cared, actually made a Pro Bowl. Crazy enough as that sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are two teams fighting for very different things. I think the Ravens know that their season's over. And the Packers, it is not over. Like, you want to be playing well going into the playoffs, whether it's with Malik Willis. I suspect Jordan Love will play, but if he doesn't, I feel okay with Malik Willis. In fact, he can run the ball. He could take off and run, which is an aspect that you don't really get so much with Jordan Love. So I like the number. I like the team. Give me the Packers also minus a 2.5 for all the reasons you said.
Peter, I had trouble finding a third game here, and I think you did too.
Yeah, I had trouble finding any, which are usually my best weeks.
You're gonna laugh your balls off at this one.
Tennessee,
close. The 2-13 Raiders and the 2-13 Giants,
classic game,
will battle it out for the first pick of the draft.
You're just trying to give people a reason to watch a bad game.
That's what I do, Pete. I'm a giver. As the Giants go all the way to Vegas. Now, Peter, correct me if I'm wrong. You've been to Vegas?
I have.
Oh, it's a tremendous time.
Fun place.
Now, you're going to tell me you're going to go to Vegas at 2-13
and not have fun?
And give a shit?
Yeah.
Raiders a little signs of life last week against the Texans. 2-point loss on the road. Geno Smith's back. Please give me the Raiders minus a 1.5 against the Giants.
I don't hate that one. You know, it's not Vegas for the team from Vegas. They can go to party anytime. It's the incoming team. You would think it'd be a bigger home field event. I am going to go out west. I think the Bears getting off to those slow starts is finally going to bite them in the ass. I'm going to take the 49ers minus 3 against the Bears. They get off to slow starts against the Giants. They got off to slow start against every team they played, against Green Bay twice. The way the 49ers are playing offense, and they're at home, so the weather isn't going to be an issue. Green Bay Chicago does not exactly have a great pass rush, which that can be something that throws Brock Purdy off. CMC is healthy, so they can run the ball. They can throw it to him. Jennings playing, like, they just are clicking right now. And I just think, why wouldn't they get off to a fast start when they have in every single game for the last month and a half? So I'm going to take the Niners minus 3 over the Bears.
Peter, 3 favorites. That's scary.
I know. That's not usually the way you want to do it.
I got the Dolphins plus 5.5 against the Bucks, the Packers minus 2.5 against the Ravens, and the Raiders minus 0.5 against the Giants.
Lions minus 6 against the Vikings. I also had the Packers minus 2.5 against the Ravens. You know what's funny is I'm reading these off. I like them more now that we've talked about it than before.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, me too.
And the Niners minus 3. Like, I'm starting to like these games a lot. So, yeah, I feel better about them now that we talked it through. I appreciate that. It was therapeutic.
I'll send you an invoice for that. Don't worry about it.
Send it to a Blue Cross Blue Shield.
All right, buddy. Trivia time.
I was hoping we could just get to what we're watching. Damn, it was 0-3 last week.
Peter, who is first all time in receiving touchdowns at the University of Miami? Michael Irvin, Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, Andre Johnson.
Michael Irving's. Who's the next one?
Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, Andre Johnson.
You know, I always kind of default to this idea that back when Michael Irvin's time and that kind of thing, they didn't throw it as much, but they kind of did. I always end up being wrong when I say that. So I'm going to go with Michael Irvin.
1 for 1.
Yes, sir.
Dude, but it's not a big number, though. 26 career receiving touchdowns.
That's it. That's weird.
Crazy.
You're going to tell me nobody's had more than 26?
Well, remember, they run the ball a lot, like, back in the day, too. Like, with
even
those, we're like,
wow. That's a lot.
Like the Wayne Moss Johnson years. They had,
I guess,
dude, the Davenport, Portis, McGahee. Dude, They had all those running backs, man. There's one more.
I guess if you look at that for 3 seasons, that ends up being like 8 a season, which is pretty damn good in college.
Frank Gore too, yeah.
Yeah, I could say to see. I'm thinking like quarterbacks, and they have like hundreds. So
Yeah.
different.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, who was
Oh, boy,
first
here
all
we go.
time in throwing touchdowns at the U?
All right, off the top of my head, I have like Vinny Testaverde right there.
Vinny Testaverde, Bernie Kosar, Ken Dorsey, Gino Torretta.
Oh my God, Torretta. Didn't they go to a national championship game with Gino Torretta? Did they win a national championship with
He
Gino
won a
Torretta?
Heisman, right? Did he win a Heisman?
I don't know.
Did he throw to Irvin? Who did
Hold on. Did Gino Torretta win a Heisman Trophy?
According to Facebook, made some good friends, and we took pride in being the hardest workers.
What the
Thanks to my guy and our Heisman Trophy winner, Gino Torretta, for
Yeah.
posting this index, pointing up medium dark skin.
I guess he did.
What the fuck?
That was an interesting it was a Facebook post.
A
I guess.
roundabout way of getting there. What the fuck?
Google's reading off a Facebook post.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna. Can you read the list of Vinny Testaverde, Gino Torretta?
Bernie Kosar, Ken Dorsey.
Dude, Bernie Kosar was so good, but I just don't think they threw the ball a lot. Ken Dorsey, huh? Gino Torretta.
Ken Dorsey
Shit! I actually. God damn it.
with 86. You know what's funny? No, it's not even like the top 7. Jim Kelly.
They just didn't throw the ball a lot.
Crazy, man.
Didn't throw it a lot back then.
All right, Broseph. Last one. Let's get above 500 here.
Got it.
Who is first all time in rushing touchdowns at Alabama? Mark Ingram, Sean Alexander,
So many good running backs.
Derrick Henry, Najee Harris.
Shit. What a list. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I could give you a hint, but it's only going to make it harder.
Go ahead, make it harder because I'm really, really tight on this one.
All right. They all have over 40 touchdowns, and they're all within 4 touchdowns of each other.
Wow. What was the list again?
Mark Ingram, Sean Alexander, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris.
So Sean Alexander, the only one on that list that's not from the Nick Saban era.
Yes.
You know, like I think most people in the spot would say Derrick Henry, but shit. Sean Alexander, Mark Ingram,
Derrick Henry, Najee Harris.
I'm gonna say Mark Ingram.
Well, he is tied
damn
for
it.
second.
Who's first?
Najee Harris.
You know why I didn't pick him? Because
No.
I'm thinking, dude, recency bias. He's the most recent guy. That's why you think blah blah blah. It was what's on my head. It was that was what on my tip of my tongue. I wanted to say, but I'm like, nah, man. Like he's just too new. You're probably just thinking because he's the most recent guy.
Yeah, Najee had 46.
Damn it. They were all within 4 of each other, basically.
5. I'm sorry. So Ingram and Henry had 42, and Alexander had 41.
And Derrick Henry?
42. He was tied Ingram.
Oh, Henry. Okay.
Is
Damn.
that crazy? Is that fucking nuts?
Dude, they've had some running backs at that place.
No kidding.
Wow. That's a hell of a list, man. Really can't go wrong with any of those if they got them on your team, right?
No, sir.
Hello. Do I need to ask what you're watching this weekend?
Football.
Football.
And
There's
maybe
no
you
wrestling
know
that
what's
I'm
what's on Sunday?
What's that?
Or maybe Saturday? That indoor golf shit's back on.
Oh, I might be checking that out.
Yeah, right? I thought the same.
Now, let me ask you, do we have some bowl games rolling in this weekend? Some obviously non-playoff bowl games?
Still not
Couple here and
great
there.
ones, but let me see. There's one on now I'm watching. What's some lots of background noise here? Let's see bowls. You know, Hawaii's playing on Christmas Eve for like the 40th year in a row.
Sweet. Because for them, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Either Christmas or Christmas Eve, one of the two. All right, so we have. Bear with me here for a second, sir.
We got.
All right,
I'm bearing.
So we have Western Kentucky, Southern Miss tonight. What is that? UNLV, Ohio tonight. Yeah, Christmas Eve tomorrow, Cal at Hawaii.
You'll get that might be something that people want to check out because the quarterback for Cal, true freshman,
Tagovailoa,
Tagovailoa, and he's already said he's coming back to Cal.
Wow.
So you might want to take, if you don't know who I'm talking about, you might want to take a second and just check that game out. I don't know what time that is, but this kid can play. He can play. He's a ball player.
Friday, Central Michigan, Northwestern, New Mexico, Minnesota, and FIU, UTSA.
I'm going to throw this out there about Northwestern, not this year, but I would keep an eye on them moving forward if they want to, because they have a shit ton of money when it comes to like boosters. If they wanted to bring in some players a la Texas Tech, they could do it. Just keep that in mind. They could do it.
Pete, Saturday, we have some juice. 11 a.m., Pitt, East Carolina. Noon from Yankee Stadium, Penn State, Clemson. Good helmet game there. Yeah. 2:15, UConn Army. 3:30, Georgia Tech, BYU. Really good one there, bro.
That should be good, yeah.
Miami, Fresno State. North Texas, San Diego State. And at night, Virginia, Missouri. Oh, and at night after that, LSU, Houston. Holy, we're cooking now, bro. We're cooking.
Those are two good games. Those are two good games you want to check out. Virginia's a good football team.
I'd say Saturday we start to get a little fire.
There'll be some NFL games on too. So busy football weekend. Busy football weekend. Hope everybody has a great holiday. We love you for listening. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to share with your friends. It is the sharing season, the giving season. So give us some help by sharing with your friends. For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you for a good year. Cheers, and see you later.
All right.
Beautiful. Obviously, no rush getting this out since it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I might get it out tonight. Worst case scenario, I get